Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg, and we are back for another one of our awesome Elevate virtual conference session previews. I'm so excited that y'all are joining us, and I'm so excited that our friends Megan and Kara are joining us. Hey Megan, hey Kara.
Hello, Mr. Greg.
How are you?
We're doing great.
Doing well.
We're doing great. How are you?
Good. So before we went live, we were just talking like, whoa, we're at the end of the school year. Like, How did we get here? How did this happen? And I don't even think y'all realized how close to the end of the school year we were.
We really didn't.
We didn't have any idea until you told us the number, and it kind of put us in a little shock. So we're getting close.
We are. And it's crazy to think like how so many of us are so close. But then I know there are so many people who go like into June.
Absolutely.
Right? So
yes, our East Coast friends are way, they're still going.
Yeah. So, and they'll be okay with that in August when we're all back in school. So
yes, they will.
Well, we're excited that you're here. We can't wait to talk to y'all tonight. I want to go ahead and let everybody know that we are doing a giveaway tonight. We're giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. All you need to do to enter tonight's giveaway is hit the share button and join us in the comments. The more you share and the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. You can also register for Elevate Virtual using the link in the comments or in the description. And if you enter the code Megan9875, that will save you an extra 25% off of your registration. So that will make your registration only $60. So hit the share button, invite your friends to join us, get in the comments, and join us tonight as we talk about unlocking every student's potential. I think this is an amazing topic. I cannot wait to dive into this with y'all.
Yes.
But I want to give you a chance to introduce yourselves, tell everybody a little bit about y'all, what you do, where you're from, all the things.
Perfect. Hey, thank you. We're so glad to be here. Definitely hit that share button and comments. We love all of that interaction. I'm Megan.
And I'm Kara.
We are from Gillette, Wyoming. We are current third grade teachers. Yes, we teach right next door to each other. No, we're not ever apart. We're always together. We speak together. We're in schools. We're doing all the things. And like Mr. Greg said, we're kind of shocked that the end of the school year is right around the corner. But, you know, the way that we've been instructing, it kind of just feels like one giant party. It just is really fun and keep going. So here we are.
Yeah, like she said, we're third grade currently. We each have been in the classroom for about 15 years now. So kind of feeling a little bit more on the veteran side, but still constantly working on those instructional strategies and looking to improve how we can better instruct our students. So that's kind of what Meg and I are speaking on and what we love to share with teachers.
Yes.
I love it. Well, and I love that you mentioned that, yes, you're always together, because before we went live, Jesse, who's behind the scenes, actually asked, like, are y'all ever apart? And I love to hear your story because you're teaching each other's kids. You're very close. So what's it like teaching each other's child?
Yeah. What's funny is, so Kara and I are actually very polar opposite people, but we work very, very well together. And our children are very much ourselves. So teaching her child, Evan, is just actually amazing. He's a brilliant young man, and he's very kind of calm. He's kind of introverted, but he just loves to share these random facts. And it's been so much fun to see the other side of him as a learner rather than just a kid that comes over and hangs out. And, you know, he's my little nephew. So it's been fun to watch him grow this year.
It truly is, because then I have her kiddo, Luke, in my class, and he is so much like Meg. It's not even funny, just a ball of energy, but, you know, loves people, loves his classmates, and, you know, strives for his best all the time. So it's just been a lot of fun to kind of, you know, see them in a different light, like in the classroom, but still a lot of fun. It definitely has been a lot of fun being able to see that different side of them. For sure.
I love that. Okay, so what has been one challenge with this situation?
Having each other's kids in their classes?
Yes. Like what was a challenge or something that you had to overcome maybe at the beginning of the year?
I think the biggest one is just them not calling us auntie at school or
Our first
our
name.
first names, because they're just so used to us, just at home, and we're Kara and Meg or auntie, and so at school getting them used to saying like, oh, Mrs. Diede or Mrs. Rigsby, and we haven't even quite made it to Mrs. Rigsby yet. We're at Rigsby. And I feel like that's probably as close as we're going to get. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Honestly, like as far as like a challenge, I think the biggest challenge is that we know them so well, and just letting them be their own person and kind of growing in that space, and taking a step back and letting them fail forward, if you will. That's been my biggest thing. I was like, okay, this is a learning moment. Don't step in, so yeah.
I love that. Well, and I think that is a great, like, your session for Elevate Virtual is unlocking every student's potential. And I think that's a perfect example of like what you just said, like getting to know them as a learner and letting them fail forward and, kind of stepping back and letting them have that learning experience because you do know them so well. So knowing a child so well, I think it could be an advantage and a disadvantage, right?
Correct.
And so I love that you're getting to kind of have that experience and then bringing that to your session. So give us a little insight into what your session is going to be about for Elevate Virtual.
Yeah. It honestly, Mr. Greg, is how do we help our students get to the end goal of content successfully, right? And that we're not burning out trying to do that. We're not running out of time. We're stressed as teachers. How are we fitting it all in? So our session is all about multiple pathways to learning, right? Students are constantly, I feel like, in this rerouting phase where they're just constantly being told to go a certain direction. And this is the way you have to go. And this is the way we have to do this. And instead of telling them to constantly do it this way, and we try to reroute them in that path, is we give them multiple pathways to learning. And we've found that there are 7 very good pathways that you can implement into your instruction in order for them to be able to learn that content successfully.
Ooh, I like it. 7 pathways. Okay. I want to hear some thoughts in the comments. Okay. I want everybody in the comments. What do you think some of those pathways are? And I'll get Megan and Kara to share maybe one here in a moment, but I want people in the comments. What do you think those 7 pathways to learning that they came up with are? I'll be very curious to see what some people think. I love that. And you're right, because we all have, like, right now, everybody's in the middle of state testing, right? So like, we're like, we got to get them ready. We got to get them ready. We got to get them ready. And I love that you're thinking like, yes, we want to get them to that end goal of content. And I love your rerouting your GPS analogy, right? Like, because our GPS always is saying, go here, go here, go here, but then you don't follow it. And it's like, oh, rerouting. And I love that you're bringing that into the classroom with your students.
And if you think about it, we all learn very different, even as adults. We don't learn the same way. So to tell us to even understand something in a certain way, and then we have strategies to kind of cope with that. Well, our students, we need to provide them different ways, even if it's not their favorite pathway, but giving them those opportunities to be able to learn that content. And, state testing, and we have to get in, you know what? We're not going to get it in the last 14 days. We've been teaching them for 175. And so when we get to state testing, we're not stressed out about if our students understand the content, if they're going to be proficient. We're more worried about how to administer the test and make sure the technology works.
Right.
So, that's a big mindset shift, is we no longer have to stress about if our students are going to reach that proficiency or growth.
I love that. Right. And you're so right. It's at this point, it's not about the content. It's about, am I following all the rules? Yes. Am I adhering to the crazy test security? Can't sit down. You got to make sure you're constantly on the move. Yes. I love it.
There's so many rules.
So many rules. And you're terrified. Yes. You're terrified to even like mess up and like even accidentally like do the wrong thing and get in trouble, because we have to sign our whole life away just to get the book in our hands. So yeah.
Right.
I love it. Well, listen, y'all, if you haven't yet done so, hit that share button, invite your friends to join us, and get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. We'll give away our free ticket here in about 15 minutes or so at the end of tonight's live. And I want to go ahead and let you know, if you haven't yet registered for Elevate Virtual, now is the time. click the link in the comments or in the description to get registered. It's the virtual event of the summer. You don't want to miss out. Elevate Virtual kicks off June 1st and runs through August 31st. So you have 90 days of on-demand virtual access to 36 sessions, 4 keynotes. You'll get hundreds of dollars of resources to download for your classroom. You'll be entered for $10,000 in giveaways. You'll have access to all of the content, all of the sessions, all of the keynotes, that entire 90 days. We have an app, so you can literally access the content anytime, anywhere. If you haven't registered, now's the time. Click the links and enter the code Megan9875, and that will save you an additional 25% off. So you'll be able to register for only $60, which basically comes out to about $2 per session. And you literally can't beat PD for $2 a session.
Oh,
That's amazing.
you can't even get coffee for half that.
Right.
Worth it.
Right. Like skip a cup of coffee a couple of times and boom, you've paid for Elevate Virtual. You're going to get all of this amazing content, all of these great ideas, and literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars of resources for your classroom.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
No brainer.
Absolutely.
No brainer, right? I love this comment from Julian. I'll read it and I'll let y'all weigh in. It says, allowing kids to see that there are different avenues to come to the same conclusion just reinforces the idea that diversity is everywhere.
Mhm.
So thinking about our pathways, it's natural differentiation.
Mhm.
So if you're thinking about elementary classroom, middle school, even upper ed, this is just thinking about that. And all the different students that we have in our classrooms, and how do we meet the needs to all these students? And it's multiple pathways to learning. It naturally differentiates for us in order to get our students where they need to be. And we're not scrambling, trying to make a bunch of different resources for all these different levels.
Mhm. Absolutely.
I love that. And I love that it's natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably stuff many of us are probably already doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Some of it, yeah.
Some of it, yeah. There's a lot, because when we started, our work on the pathways of learning and speaking about it and sharing about it, some of the things we do naturally as educators. However, we wanted to push the boundary a little bit because there is more that we can give our kiddos than just, the few that I think that most educators kind of lean on as like a go-to. And so with the 7, we felt that was a good number in order to adequately instruct our students, but also to push the boundary a little bit of just using 1 or 2 pathways. Like, let's give them multiple, because we're thinking of all the different ways adults learn. They should have access to that as well as students. So that way they can learn and find, how do I learn best? And then start advocating for themselves as well.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So I'm going to ask, don't give away like a big one, but don't pick one that everybody's kind of already does. So maybe kind of one of the pathways that might be new to some of us, or maybe a little surprising, but also maybe a couple of us are doing it. So maybe kind of in the middle.
Sure. We're going to do hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that I feel when we speak it, for some, it feels like kind of like a no-brainer, right? Especially when you have littles, you are constantly getting out manipulatives and all different types of things. And so hands-on, we feel, is a pretty natural pathway to put into your instruction. When you get a little bit older students, or depending on your content, hands-on, you might have to be a little bit more creative in your thinking and the experiences that you use to elevate that pathway. So, but hands-on, that's one that a lot of teachers might either recognize, or that could be their kind of go-to pathway.
Here's the thing though, Mr. Greg, all of these pathways are purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not doing it for a purpose, why are we doing it? Mm-hmm. We don't have time to fluff and filter in our classrooms. We're all trying to scramble and do the things and not feel burnt out. And so implementing these pathways, it literally frees up your time. They're purposeful for your instruction. So when we talk about hands-on, it's to elevate our instruction in our classroom and to help our students grow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think you just said something that made everybody who's watching, it made their ears perk up, because you said it frees up some time, right? And what is one thing that we're always asking for is take something off our plate. Like, we need more time. Like, give us time. We need more time. Give us our time back. And so this gives us a way to make that happen, right? And I love that you're talking about it being purposeful. I saw somebody in the comments say intentional, right? Not because that's right. Courtney's like, time. That's right. And one way we can do that is being intentional and doing things in a purposeful way, not just because.
This is not something new. We're not trying to add on to teachers' plates. I mean, sitting as educators, we don't need another thing. Our biggest thing with Integrated is that we just want to think about things differently. We can keep the same things. We can use, when we go in and teach in schools and we help districts, we're using all the things that they already have in place. We're just looking at them differently, and implementing these pathways is exactly doing that. Is just taking what you already do and looking at it a little bit different.
I love that. Nothing new. You're not adding to the plate. You're just coming at it differently. Yes. And what that does is that allows you to open up more pathways for more students, right?
Right.
And that's the goal, is that we want to reach all of our students, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay, so share with us. So you brought up hands-on. So give us an idea or a strategy that we can use to kind of elevate that hands-on pathway.
Sure.
One example that we can give you is, I believe it's a second grade standard. I'm just a little story of something that we have done, is we had to teach students about solids and liquids. And so we're like, how can we elevate this instruction? So we created an experience where students are spies, student property investigators, and they
I love that.
Investigate the properties of solids and liquids. And so what they did is we had all of these different stations, I guess, set up, and inside there was a bowl, and inside of it was either a solid or liquid, and it was covered up. Students couldn't see what was inside. They would put their hand in there, so they're feeling, they're touching. They would write it down in their science journal of what properties they were feeling, and then they would make their guess of what it was, and at the end we would come together and we would share, and then we would show them and reveal to them what it was in the bowl. So it's more than just your typical, getting out your teddy bears for counting for math and things like that. It was truly a hands-on, trying to get them to understand the content and the skills and the things that around solids and liquids that we wanted them to learn. So just trying to elevate that content a little bit more, and trying to make that a purposeful experience.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like the spies. I like how you turned that word into a title, but it also brought in the learning content as well.
Yeah. We call that experience like mystery bowls. And honestly, it's an experience you can use for more than just solids and liquids. We've had students do it in a music class with different things. Like, you can literally just take it and run with it. But it's definitely one of those hands-on experiences that will help elevate whatever skill or content that you want to teach.
Yeah, and somebody said in the comments, said vocabulary, right? Like, you're getting the vocabulary to describe the properties as well. I'm as you're talking to, I'm thinking like kindergarten, beginning of the year, we do 5 senses, and we could definitely pull that same idea, that same kind of approach with the 5 senses, right?
Absolutely.
I remember once we were doing nocturnal animals. We were talking about bats, and we did the book Stella Luna. And if you don't, we all love Stella Luna. It's a classic. And Stella Luna finds her mom, and they recognize each other by their scent. And so I soaked cotton balls in different. I found this thing of random cooking oils.
Yes. Okay.
And it was like all these different scents, and so I soaked cotton balls in the different scents and passed them out to the kids, and they had to find their partner only by smell.
I love that. That's great.
It was and then we talked a lot about it, and applied that to our 5 senses. We applied that to the story, and the kids loved it, right? And it was hard. It was a challenge for them, but that's how we push them to grow.
Yes. Yep.
And I think a big part of this is I just saw Laura, she commented, none of this costs a thing, right? The things that we're talking about with these pathways and the different ideas that we have, it's low cost. It doesn't have to really cost anything. Parent involvement, to get some supplies, but none of the things that we're talking about in our session and the ideas that we give are this elaborate thing, right? It's not going to be this huge, crazy Pinterest classroom. They're very easy, applicable things to put into your rooms.
Yeah.
I love it. So now look, you've got people in the comments. See, y'all listen. This is Elevate right here. This is what Elevate is all about, because Megan and Kara just shared this great idea, and the comments are now filling up with ideas, and people are so excited about it. Yes. They're like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. How great is this? This is what Elevate is all about. If you are excited about this idea, and we've been on, 20 minutes, we've been sitting here chatting.
Yes.
We threw out one idea, and now we're all pumped about this, and we're all brainstorming ideas. That's what you're going to get at Elevate.
Yeah.
And imagine, multiply that by Megan and Kara's entire session, about an hour, multiply that by about 32 sessions, and then 4 keynotes. Like, imagine how many ideas you're going to get from Elevate, and easy ideas, right? Like, literally, if you're in school tomorrow, you could go to your classroom tomorrow and do mystery bowls.
Yep.
That's what Elevate is about. It's about ideas that are research-based, classroom proven, but doable for anybody immediately. And so if you haven't yet registered for Elevate Virtual, now is the time to do it. Click the links in the comments and the description to get registered. Use the code MEGAN9875 to save an extra 25% off of your ticket. That will get you registered for only $60 instead of $80. That comes out to about $2 a session. Less than your Starbucks run every week, right? So there you go. And also, we have about 5 or 6 minutes, so I want to give everybody one more opportunity to enter tonight's giveaway. We're giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. All you need to do to enter is hit the share button and get in the comments. So if you haven't done so, hit that share button, get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more opportunities that you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. So do it now. We'll give you about 5 more minutes, and then we'll pick a winner. I was kind of watching some of the comments, and I saw a mystery bowl idea. Somebody said plastic letters.
There you go. Yes, identification.
Right? Like, how great would that be at the beginning of the year, or especially towards the, like we do ABC boot camp, right? At the end of ABC boot camp, we've learned all of our sounds and letters. Like, how great would that be for the kids to like come up in front of the class and like fill that letter and have to describe it and maybe try to identify it by the sound or identify like words. Like, once they have figured out that letter in the bowl, like they could just come up with some words and the kids could guess the sound. Like, how great is that?
Yep. Perfect. Yes,
absolutely.
I love it.
You're making that abstract thought concrete for your students. You're really putting it where they can understand it.
Right. And I love it. And it like you said, it's easy, and it doesn't have to cost anything, and it doesn't have to be this big, huge Pinterest worthy experience, right? It can just be simple.
Yeah. The thing is that small intentional changes can lead to a lasting impact for our students.
And you know what? I think there's my aha moment for the live, right? Those small little things can make a huge impact, whether it's in the classroom setup or the arrangement of your classroom or classroom management, right? Or your approach, like changing a song or changing what's on the bulletin board or all of that. Like, those small little changes can make such a difference. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys are going to give us all 7 pathways.
Yes.
Elevate Virtual. Like, we're already like, you brought up hands-on, you shared this idea, and now we're like, all of our brains are like,
I know.
Right? So
we give them one more, or you're waiting for the 6?
Okay, you can give us one. Let's give one more.
Okay, one more.
Listen, this got people really excited, so let's keep that excitement going.
Okay. We're gonna give you kind of an off-the-wall one that maybe most educators don't think about. We're gonna give you movement.
Okay.
Again.
Right, because now we're all thinking like, yeah, we're moving in the classroom.
Oh, you might be, but is it purposeful?
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing with the movement, is what you're asking them to do with the movement, a purposeful exercise in elevating the instruction. So, for example, one thing that we have done with our students, a lot of times during the fall time, people go through pumpkins, right? You go through life cycles, things like that. We did a whole experience with pumpkins and life cycles. We tied it actually to solids and liquids. We did this whole thing. But at the very end, students had to create a life cycle of a pumpkin using movement.
Ooh.
They had to show with their bodies the life cycle of that pumpkin. And so they had a little team, and they all together decided what each movement should be. We had no guidelines on those movements other than like it needs to be able to show us like it makes sense that this is a seed, or so on and so forth. But they had free reign as to what they wanted to create with their movement. And so it was just kind of a cool experience for them. But just goes to show that it was a purposeful exercise in elevating that instruction, but it also gave students another way to engage with that content to gain a better understanding.
Ooh, I like that. And like, as you're talking, I'm sitting here. The first thing that came to my mind was at this time of the year, I know a lot of us do butterflies. And so you could like mimic that idea, right?
Yes.
And I think kindergartners could really come up with some really good movements for the life cycle of a butterfly. I think that's cute. Carrie says you could do it with a flower life cycle. I love that, right?
Yep.
The other thing that like, it kind of clicks for me now, because I think about like when you were talking about purposeful movement, I immediately thought about phonics and phonemic awareness, right? Like we get like we're stepping the sounds, right? We're oral blending, we're moving the roller coaster, like we're doing it. But hey, what about science?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about social studies, right? I like that we're also kind of pushing our boundaries, because it's easy to move for math, it's easy to move for phonics and phonemic awareness, but what about comprehension?
Yes.
Or what about science and social studies, right?
Yes. Yep. What if you're storytelling, if you're telling a story and you're acting up first, next, then? What if there's a movement for each one of those in order for your students to understand and go through them? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's drawn out. You could put two pathways together and think about something like that. So the possibilities are endless. It's kind of like what happened tonight. We give you one idea and we're amazing educators, and we can come up with a million more. And so that's what Kara and I love to do, is to give you one little nugget and then take that and just run and create it in your classroom and then share all about it so that we can keep helping all the educators. We want to help impact as many classrooms as possible.
Absolutely. And listen, that is exactly the mission of Elevate. And I love that that's why that you're a part of our team, because you bring that desire to hatch. Or I'm sorry, somebody I just saw a comment pop up about hatching chicks and I got excited. Like you bring that desire to help teachers, to encourage and to share. And when anybody shares, whether it's you all or me or anybody at Elevate or anybody in the comments, like, yeah, I might love that idea, but more importantly, and this is what I always hope, is that, yes, you take my idea and do it, but more importantly, I hope that it gets you thinking and it inspires you to come up with ideas, right?
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
We're hoping for that chain reaction. If we can help you get started and we give you this example, we give you some templates and resources to kind of hopefully get you started, then hopefully it creates that chain reaction for you and your team, and then ultimately the students that you're working with.
I love it. All right, everybody in the comments who is sharing out some of these movement ideas, I'm going to need y'all to report back.
Yes.
Because Laura says they're hatching chicks, and she says that might make some creative movements. Yes, Laura, and we want to know what those are. We want to know what the kids come up with. Right, because how fun is that? Like, yes, it probably will be very creative, and I would love to see and hear what the kids are coming up with. I love this. I think this is fantastic. Y'all, I cannot wait for your session, because now I want to know all 7 pathways. Right, like we learned 2 pathways tonight, hands-on and movement, and y'all the comments are flooded with ideas. Imagine what we're going to be like when we get all 7 pathways, right? Cannot wait. So everybody, you need to sign up for Elevate Virtual so you can come and watch Megan and Kara's entire session so you can get the 7 pathways to unlock every student's potential and fill up your notebooks with ideas and inspiration. So everybody, amazing. And again, Elevate is not just a one-time thing. It is a community of learners. It is a community of people supporting one another. And it is proven once again by Megan and Kara, who want to share and inspire us to come up, as you said, a chain reaction. And it's everyone in the comments has proven it again, because we're all here sharing all of these ideas so that we can impact as many students as possible. That right there is what Elevate is all about. So everybody get registered, join us at Elevate Virtual, or we would also love to have you at Elevate in person this summer in Nashville, Austin, and St. Paul. So get registered, click the links, use the code Megan9875. Click the links here in the comments and the description and get registered. Oh, Laura says a notebook from TKS perhaps. Well, listen, since you brought it up, Laura, we do have these amazing new notebooks from Berto & Co. If you have not seen them, they are holographic. The cover is like this holographic cover, and then the inside is rainbow paper.
Oh,
Right? And
how did one of these?
Right? We this was so years ago I made a notebook with like my binding machine, and people for years have wanted it, and so we finally were able to create them. But it comes, you can get blank lined dot paper or graph paper.
Okay,
Very cool.
So there you go, Laura. Get your notebooks. You'll fill them up this year at Elevate with the 7 pathways and more. So get registered. Can't wait. Jesse, let's pick a winner. So we're going to give away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. If you are the winner, you will send an email to crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com, and Crystal will take care of your ticket for you. So our winner for a free ticket to Elevate Virtual is Carrie Butler Lloyd. Congratulations, Carrie. You have won a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. Carrie, make sure to email crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com, and she will hook you up with your ticket. Congratulations, Carrie. Everybody else, click the links. Use the code Megan9875 to save an extra 25% off. Get registered. We can't wait to see you all virtually and hopefully in person this summer at Elevate. Thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. Megan and Carrie, you guys were fantastic. Thank you so much. At the end of the year, look how excited you have people.
I know. Yay.
Right?
That's
Like
awesome.
we're like end of the year tired, but we are pumped up and excited. So thank you all so much. We cannot wait to see your entire session.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you all. All right, everybody, have a great night. We will see you soon. Thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate you, and we cannot wait to continue to learn and grow with you. Thank you all so much. Bye, everybody.